Cloud. All right. Happy Thursday. Welcome to our sales training call, January 18th. I mean, half of January is gone. I feel like Christmas was yesterday. I don't even know anymore, right? But super, super excited for today's call, you guys. In the Slack thread just the other day, I mentioned how we are going to talk about closing on calls and avoiding three-way messages. You guys remember, or maybe some of you saw it, maybe you didn't. So those of you from network marketing, those of you even who understand Modere and ATM and all of that, like raise your hand if you've fallen victim to three-way chats and you've lost the sale in this program, right? Yeah, most of us. So Lauren's like, yep. So I am going like straight to the meat and the bones of this call today because I have a lot to go over. But this is going to be something that I really want us to shift and try not to do anymore unless it's explicitly clear that that person only is going to join Modere. They don't want to do the program and like they're going to go that route, which is traditional network marketing, right? ATM would work in that situation. Go for it, do what you need, get them enrolled, right? No worries, Susie. But here is what has happened, right, over the last few months that I have observed being in so many three-way threads with a lot of you. The intention is super good. I was on the phone with that lead and they just want more information. And so I wanted to introduce and edify Yana or Mel or Brooke or whatever it is to get that person more info and to try to close the deal, right? So how many of you know what leads people to buy? Does anyone know like what makes people pull the trigger on a purchase? Anyone? Emotion, right? Exactly. So solving their pain, feelings, exactly, right? So what happens when we take a call where we are, pulling out the emotion, pulling out the pain, like why do they need us? Why did they get on a call with us, right? They got on there because there was a pain that they saw that we could solve, right? So what happens when we close down the call, we schedule a follow-up and we go to a three-way message? All emotion goes out the window, right? And now where's our lead? Our lead is in logic mode, right? Now they want to know the intricacies of this and that and features of the program and what's the support look like? And okay, well, you said leads, what does that mean? And how many leads do I need? And Mel, how many? I mean, we had a girl go on and on and on and on and on with questions for 2 weeks in a thread. And ultimately, in fact, Mel, can you copy and paste the last two messages where she canceled on you on the enrollment call and what I had you say in response to that? What happens in those moments, guys, is that we lose full control of the conversation and we get into question answering mode. And now it's all logic based. And the lead is asking questions to continue to talk themselves out of why this isn't the right fit for them. Okay. What I want you guys to know is the way that any high ticket program is set up, any advertising is set up, is not so they can get on the phone with us and understand our program from A to Z before they buy. That is probably the biggest misconception I think that many of you have had or feel is that it has to be, you need to know the intricacies of what we do and how we do it and every little thing to make a decision. And in fact, when you go that route, it's really, really hard to ever close a deal, right? The reality is that these people come to us because our ad spoke to them, right? We talk about a simple to use system that allows them to make an income from home, right? Around their kids. Ultimately, that's kind of what we say in our ads, right? Of course, we got lots of different things out there, but ultimately that's our message. It all leads to the webinar. And the reason it leads to a webinar is because we try to continue to remove the need for you to be the variable and spend all your time explaining all the things before they ever get on a call, right? We want you guys, your job to be get on a call with interested people and dig into the emotion to see if we can solve the pain, not so we can explain the program. Right. And that is something that is going to hold all you back if you can't, differentiate and kind of move past. So when they watch the webinar, they get a high level overview. The homework videos take them further. And remember, at every step, guys, they're jumping through hoops. They've watched the webinar. They filled out an application. They've watched the homework. They've confirmed their appointment. They've watched the Loom video that many of you are sending manually, right? And then they get on the phone with you. So they've opted in, so to speak, 3, 4, 5 times in different steps of the process to actually get on the phone with you. And they still believe that the pain that they have is worth getting on the phone with you because they believe you can maybe solve it. Right? Does that kind of make sense from like a high overarching, why did somebody get on the phone with us? Yes, no? Yeah, okay. So with that, when we get on the phone, our conversation needs to be focused on why they got on the phone with us and ultimately what they want, and to see if we are the match to help them get there. That's it. That's it. Right? So we are going to go over today the new script, and Kat is going to help me role play. And I'm not releasing the script to you guys just yet because I'm still tweaking a few things and we need to train on it. But what you guys will find is it's similar to what you have been doing, but it's a very feminine approach to sales. So is our other one, but it also doesn't really give you guys the opportunity to go down the wrong path where they take control of the conversation and lead you down logic versus no, Heather, you didn't get on this phone with me to learn how I'm going to teach you to talk on the phone. That's not what you came on the phone with. You didn't even know that was part of this. You came here because you're tired of your esthetician job. Your hands hurt. You can only take so many clients. You are desperate to find another way out. You are, and I'm totally making this up now, Heather, but you're reactive to your kids. You're fighting with your husband. You're miserable going to work. And their only solution for you, Heather, is to find a way to make money from home so you can leave that job. I have a solve for that problem. Forget the intricacies of the program. I'm going to help you do that because that's what you came to me for. Do you guys kind of see the difference there just from, again, a high level? And do you guys feel, those of you who are like, oh, do you feel like, or do you understand where you probably are going the other direction? Where it's like program focused, which we call features focused sometimes? Yes, no, anyone? Yes. Okay. So the ATM stuff, the 3-way threads, is like the perfect recipe for you to waste your time and go down the logic path, even if you didn't intend to. The intentions were good to try it, but I don't want you guys doing that anymore because I think you're going to waste more time. Like genuinely with this gal that Mel just sent the response to in the chat, we wasted 2 weeks and I don't even know how many back and forths with this gal. And, when she canceled the appointment an hour ahead of time, I said, first of all, Mel, I want you to call Megan because this was Megan's warm market lead. And I want you to have a coaching conversation as to why you're going to respond the way that you are. Because so often, guys, in sales, we are afraid to be direct, we are afraid to be honest, and we are afraid to say that we're protecting our time. You should never be afraid of protecting your time. In fact, you should never let anybody waste your time. Right? And we mean that in the kindest way. We're never rude. And I don't know if you guys saw this message, but I'm going to read it out loud in just a second. You should never be afraid to do that because the reality is when you guys get really good at closing, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I wasted so much time talking to people who were not interested. It just wasn't worth it. Right? Or talking to broke people or talking to people who said that their husband has to make the decision, but isn't willing to get on the call with them. Those are the types of things that we want to protect you guys from, so that you can focus on closing the right leads. Okay. And so what I had Mel send to Nikki was, hey, Nikki, I want you to take as much time as you need to make your investment decision. That said, I'm not sure which questions you could still have after hours, Lauren's, Yana's communication. I want to apologize for leaving out any questions that limit your confidence in what we're doing in protecting each of our time. Please reach out when you're ready to move into the next steps of the process. I want to put the ball back in your court until you're ready so I can focus on supporting our team, our clients and team. Right? I know a lot of you are like, oh my gosh, Yana, that's mean. That is not mean, you guys. That is not mean. It's direct. You are running a business. You are no longer a network marketer who is like just throwing spaghetti at the wall, trying to make things happen, right? You guys are real business women. You have careers, you have jobs, you have all these responsibilities. The last thing you want to do is spend 2 weeks talking to somebody like this who was never intending to pull the trigger anyway and waste all of it, right? So you guys can save this. We will put it in a script as, you know, like a little blurb that you guys can utilize, but go ahead and copy and paste this for the point where, you know, you are on a third call, on a fourth call, on a fifth. Don't do that. Unless there's a deposit, you should not be going into a third call, period. Right? So really the way it should go, guys, is we talked about the application, I mean, sorry, the funnel, which is called an application funnel, where they watch the webinar, they this, then you lead them to the booked call. That's the whole point. We have finished the new homework page, but we have not linked it yet because I think I'm going to re-record one more time. I'm going to try to shorten it. It's actually really good, so people are loving it, but I'm going to try to shorten it one more time. We'll see. However, manually sending it seems to be working well for two reasons. Number one, it's weeding out the people that are no's, you guys. And I know that sucks, okay? But tell me, would you rather them watch the Loom video or you talk to them for an hour and then they not buy? Which one do you prefer? Not to get on the call, right? Not to get on the call. And now it's like, dang, if they watch the Loom video and they get on the call and they've done all the 18 steps that we've put them through before that intentionally, I can do this. I can close this. There is an interest here and I need to uncover what that interest is on this call, right? And so send that and confirm that they have watched it. We will actually confirm again. I'm going to show you guys the new script here in just a second. We're going to confirm it again when we get on the call because we use it as a catalyst for the conversation. Okay. So can you tell them like Mama Bear? I'm like, I want y'all protecting your time. Your time, your time, your time, your time. So any questions about that part of it? Anybody have anything that they're like, okay, explain this a little bit further or help me understand the psychology behind this or anything before we jump into the script? And don't be afraid, guys. Sales skills. Fortunately, guys, what we're not teaching you is motivation, discipline, leadership. Those things I can't teach you, right? You have them or you don't have them, right? If you're not disciplined, if you're not motivated, if you like aren't willing to be dedicated and show up and do the work and suck for a while and all the things, I can't help you there, right? But what we can do is we can teach you guys to be amazing, amazing closers because that's a skill. I could teach anybody, any random, most introverted person how to be great at sales. And so like, that's the good news, right? Is that you guys are going to become masters at this. It just takes a second. And I'm really excited for you guys to see the new script. But any questions before we dive in? No? Okay, awesome. So I am going to role play with Kat. So Miss Kat, can you unmute, my friend? I kind of want to share my screen and show it with you to you guys, but then I don't want you to get super excited because there's some things I want to make. You guys want me to share my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
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 That's me. I'm like, yeah, give me everything. Give it to me now.
Okay. Okay. You know, it's funny because, yeah, well, you guys know this. You guys are smart business people, right? You know, things take time, right? Stuff like this takes time. And what I mean by that is we've spent months and months and months dissecting your guys' conversations. I was telling Megan yesterday, I'm like, I have been in thousands of chats, I mean, like watching you guys, right? And not watching you from a bad angle, but seeing what are the objections, hearing your calls, you know, and that's how this gets even better because we try to solve all of those before they come up, right? So this new script, nice, new sales script idea. This is just me making sure I know. I have like new sales script idea, new sales script version 2, just so I don't mess them up. But basically, guys, what's going to happen is this left-hand side is going to be like your quick glance, right? So money objection, click on money so you can go straight into it. Oh, I just need to think about it. Think about it, objection. Okay, let me go into that. Oh, the spouse objection. Let's talk about that, right? So you guys always know where you're at and you can jump through really, really, really quickly. The one thing that we will encourage those of you who maybe get comfortable down the road doing, I prefer Zoom sales calls. And I know that that sounds scary, but everything I've ever done in high ticket sales is Zoom. And a lot of people do phone and phone works beautifully. I feel I perform best on Zoom. Many of you might be like, absolutely not. And that's totally fine because phone works just as well. But for me personally, so those of you who are like, I want to try my hand at Zoom, You can. And 100% of the time, I still have my script up, even on Zoom. And what I do is I just move the person's face. You guys obviously, I don't think can see your faces right now, but I would move it to the middle of the screen and I would have my script where I can see it. And that way I'm still like glancing and reading. And really, you guys should read your script like 50 times, right? To get comfortable with it. But once it's there, and once I've done it so often, I can just glance and know, okay, here's what's next, right? Or if I get hung up, yeah, okay. So let me think about, you just said, right? You just use broken English and hums and haws to get back on track. That's the beautiful thing about sales calls. But those of you that want to try your hand at Zoom, I know I've had this conversation with Kat and a couple other people. You most definitely can. If you want to, you need to I'll probably record a Loom video, but you would have to change your automations to be a Zoom link versus a phone call link. So we wouldn't want you to do that prematurely without sending the right reminders or anything like that, right? But just so you know, definitely you can do Zoom if you feel like you're like me, who performs better on that, right? Let me check the chat real quick before. Yes, passion and delivery across. So awesome. Let's see what time it is. All right, we're going to get into this, guys. When you're doing a sales call, you guys know I'm the most animated person when I talk, right? I'm always generally happy. Even when I'm like direct, I'm still appear to be happy because I probably am, right? But when I get on a sales call, you guys are probably like, that does not sound like Yana, right? Like that's not her at all. Where's her bubbly, this is not the time to be bubbly. This is not the time to be their friend. You are not there to be their friend. You are there to be their coach. You are there to be somebody who leads them into a buying decision. Therefore, your tonality is incredibly subdued. It is inquisitive. It is, and times, skeptical. And I'll tell you and pause when it is. It is not excited. Okay. Even guys, when we get to taking the credit card or giving them the link, it's not like, awesome, I'm so excited for you, Kat. This is gonna, no, okay, that's MLM world. No, you are gonna pretend like you got your water bill, like they called and said, hey, your credit card's expired, you didn't pay your water. And they say, I can help you pay it over the phone. Great, do you have your card? Great, awesome. Here it is. All right, we emailed your transaction, your onboarding call will be on Sunday. Like that's how you want to treat this. Like this is every day for you. You do this over and over and over again, every single day, like second nature. You're not excited, you're not anything, you are just a sales call trying to help lead them into a buying decision, right? And I know for a lot of you that's like scary and hard, but I promise if I can do it, you can do it. You're not their friend. Say it with me. You are not their friend. You can be their friend after they're in the program and now you guys are besties and like working together, but you're not their friend. Once you go the friend route, guys, there's no authority there. There's no authority. Now you're just their friend, right? So, okay, cool. So we are going to, let me think of where I want to start. Okay, I'm going to come back to this based on what Kat says. And we're just going to start with the script. So Kat, you ready? Am I recording? Oh, good.
Yeah, you're recording.
Oh,
You're
I thought I forgot to record. All right, Kat, are you ready?
Yeah.
Awesome. And guys, I've told Kat that she's watched the Loom video and she has been in network marketing before, which is the large chunk of our people. We still get people who are not, but that is the example we're going to run with today. Okay. So Kat and I get on Zoom. Hey, Kat, can you hear me clearly?
I can. Can you hear me?
I can. And Catherine, can you see me?
I can.
Awesome. So Kat, I looked you up on Instagram and I saw that you just bought a horse. And
Yeah.
I was so excited to talk to you because although I don't have anywhere to put a horse, I absolutely love horses. They are my favorite animal. When did you get a horse?
Just about, it was December 10th. So a
December.
little over a month ago.
Okay, a little over a month ago. And
Yeah,
where are you located? I know the weather's crazy all over the country right now. Where are
it
you at?
is. I'm in Delaware.
You're
Yeah.
in Delaware. Oh gosh, what? Okay, so Delaware. I am. I just moved to Texas from Seattle, and so totally new world for me here. But very, 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 very cold. I was shocked. Being
Mhm.
that it's Texas. So Kat, let me ask you, did you get the chance to watch our, bonus training video?
I did. I did. Yeah, I got all the way through it.
Okay. And can you tell me a little bit about, what was your biggest takeaway from that video?
Let me think, because it was a couple days ago that I watched it last.
Mhm.
But I remember being really intrigued with the different ways that you guys go about marketing and finding people. You know, it's not that old way of network marketing where I have to host parties and have products and all of those things, which
Mhm.
I'm used to because I have the experience and I hate. So I'm glad you guys don't do that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So sounds like you come with a little bit of experience, and you mentioned you hated the process that you were using. Can you expand on that a little bit, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, yeah. Just the typical making lists of your closest friends and family who would, benefit from an eye cream or a pair of leggings or a supplement. And feel like I was almost annoying people, to the point where when I picked up the phone and called, even my best friends, they wouldn't take my calls because they were worried I was going to try and sell them something.
Okay. Yes. I know that life well. I lived that for many, many years, as you probably know from the training video as well.
Hmm.
Thanks for sharing that with me, Kat. Pause for a second. Or I'm gonna pause for a second. If Kat came in and was like, listen, I want to cut the BS. I just want to know, what do you do? How much does it cost? Da, 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 da. No, 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 no. Nope.
Yep.
Right. You're going to follow kind of what I did. And if they start doing that, you'll say, so, listen, Kat, or Catherine, I really want to be able to kind of set the tone for what our call is going to be like today to make sure that we get the most out of it. And so for us to make the most of our call today and be mindful of that time that we have, I really want to make sure we are laser focused on why we're here today. Are you on board with that?
Totally.
So you see how if she was that person, she probably would not be that person anymore, right? You automatically disarm that talk track because you don't play into it, right? And so if you get that lead, which happens, right? Definitely happens. There's a reason they're reacting that way. It's likely they've been on a million sales calls before, or they've tried a bunch of things and they're just over it. But we can't do our job if they take over right there. You might as well hang up the phone. You're going to lose the sale anyway, right? So you can kind of set the stage. Obviously, Kat wasn't like that, but I wanted to touch on that, right? So from there, what I'll say is, Catherine, this call is going to be really simple. And, the first part of the call is really more for us to find out, what are you doing now as far as, and again, when it's a network marketer, we know what the niche is, right? Which is, as far as, building a business or, building a passive income business or building an income from home, right? One that you can do, on part-time hours around your kids, compared to like, what are you actually wanting it to be, right? Just so I can see, what the gap actually looks like to make sure that what we do can actually help you with the issues that you're dealing with. Okay. And my number one priority today is to make sure that you get some sort of help getting to your income goals, your online income, your income goals, your work from home goals, right? Whether it's with us or not. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Okay. And before we dive into your application and really what brought you here today, I'd like to share a little bit of context for this call and really full transparency. Not everybody who applies to Preoccupied to Present Moms is given an invitation to join. And that's because we really focus on, and this is where it'll be about, I haven't entered it in yet because I'm still playing with it, but this is where it's going to be, guys, about like, what is the ideal person we're looking for, right? To be
Mm.
honest with you, we are not looking for the person who wants to make $500 a month. That's traditional network marketing. Okay.
Mhm.
You can do minimal things to make $500 a month. This is likely not the program for that, right? Or, what I would say in this example, right? Because we really focus on clients that are not looking for, just a quick win. They're not looking just to make, $500 to $1,000. Like, they're really looking to make a full-time income and in a position and desire to invest in learning the skills it really takes to make and build an income and business from home. Does that make sense, Catherine?
It does. Yeah. I appreciate you going over that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And just so I'm clear, right? What were you hoping to get out of this call today? Just so that I have a better understanding.
Just really seeing if it's the right fit. There's a lot of different opportunities out there right now. whether it's network marketing or something else online, so just making sure that before, I invest in something that it's going to be the right fit for not just myself, but for my family, because the whatever I spend my time on is time that's away from them. So I want to make sure that it's worth it.
Okay. Okay. Thanks. Thanks for sharing. That way I have an idea of, the things that you really want to touch on. I'm
Mhm.
pausing. If they say that, my family, my husband, I just want to know how much it costs. Do not pass go. Do not pass go, because we're gonna click on the spouse objection, and we are going to pre-handle this and cut the call off if she will not make a decision today without her husband. Right? Danielle, is she still on the call? How many calls have you had where the husband wasn't on the call? They went back and reported to the husband, and then they ghosted you or just said, never mind.
Probably it's happened at least 4 times by this point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And didn't you rather shut the phone off at that point until the husband
Yeah.
would be there, or uncover like what is the husband's actual issue before you kept going?
Yeah. It's been very messy. Yeah.
It is super messy, super messy. And you got, guys, husbands they're passionate, they're protective. And to be honest with you, in the space that we operate in, they are so over their wives jumping from thing to thing. Right. And
Exactly.
they, for me, I'm like, I don't love that, but you guys know that I don't, yeah, you guys know that I just do. And then, tell Trevor later. And I recognize that's not most people, right? But there's a difference between wanting to communicate with your husband who's supportive of what you want to try. And there's a whole nother thing where if your husband says no, you can't do it, right? Like those are two kind of different things that we want to determine before we ever keep going in the conversation, right? So here's how I would handle what Kat just said. I would say something like, so Catherine, before we dive in a little bit further, you mentioned your family. Tell me a little bit, who's in your family?
So my husband, and then my son who's 11, and my daughter who's 8. And
Okay.
then we've got one dog puppy on the way and the horse, because
Oh,
yes, they are family members. Mhm.
yes, I agree. I've got 2 dogs, and I agree. They are just as much part of the family. So I can
Mhm.
relate to that. So if I can ask you, is your partner, like, is he somebody that's going to give, 2 thumbs up, to this? Is he supportive of you looking into how to grow your skills so that you can be more effective with your business online?
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely somebody who's always supported me in any venture I've done. Definitely there were ones that were a little more skeptical for sure. But now that, we've been together as long as we have, he trusts that, I can make the right decision and that's right for me and our family.
Okay. And how does he feel, right? How does he feel about you wanting to bring in more income for your family? So that you guys can have that thriving business that it sounds like you've been working at for quite some time based on, what you said in your application and in our quick conversation here.
Yeah, he's all for it for sure. To the point where, he's even mentioned, hey, we need to think of something else for you to do because it would be great if you could contribute,
Mhm.
on the months that I'm a little bit short with my paycheck or, whatever it may be, Christmas, holiday time, birthday time. Yeah.
Got it. Got it. Okay. I love that he's supportive. We talk to a lot of women, and you're very fortunate to have that support, because oftentimes we encounter the opposite. So that's really great to hear. And so let me ask you this: if we move forward in the conversation, and you decide that this is the right fit to help teach you the skills that you're missing to be able to actually grow your online business the way that you want to, are you in a position to make that decision, or does your partner, do you guys make that decision together?
To be completely honest, it would be a joint decision as far as the final say.
Okay.
However, with us, it's more of me just giving him a heads up that, hey, this is what I've decided. It costs X, Y, and Z. What do you think? But he also knows that once I have my mind made up, I will find a way to get it done, whether he is for it or not.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
And so I can understand, Catherine, is it more of, like a permission thing, or more of like a heads up thing to be respectful?
More of a respect thing, because his income is the sole income right now. And we are living paycheck to paycheck. So in order to take out, what you mentioned, almost, $3,000 or so, I just want to make sure that that's not putting us in a financial hole somewhere else, or that it's going to take money away from something. But again, if I find it of value, then, you know, I have no problem trying to figure out how to move money around to make that work.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
And you know, what concerns, if any, do you think that your husband might have, you know, about you investing in your skills and you know, being able to learn the things that you need to learn to bring more money into the home? You guys see, I'm going to pause real quick before she responds.
Yeah, I love this.
How every single time I say the skills, the things that you need to actually make your money, right? You guys see, I keep reiterating that at every point because that is what we're talking about here. Again, we're not talking about the intricacies of the program. We're just talking about, can we help Kat with what she needs help with, which she's already kind of told us is, I've been struggling to build this business because of the traditional way of doing network marketing, right? That's really what she told us. So you guys kind of see that or hear that. I'm sure you do.
I love
Um,
that. Yeah.
sorry, Kat. I know you probably were like ready to answer, but do you remember my question?
I think so.
Okay.
So, you know, his concern most likely would be based on previous network marketing experiences. You know, ROI, you know, how quickly would I be able to make what the investment was back? And then also, you know, what is the cost of doing business every month? You know, being that I've been in network marketing for 8.5 years now, um, there was a couple companies where I would definitely be purchasing more product than I was making. So I'm sure that will be something that comes up as far as, am I actually going to earn a paycheck and not spend my paycheck at the company?
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I think a lot of network marketers have that experience, and
Mhm.
you know, so I can understand where he's coming from on that. And so, you know, if you determine that what we do, right, which is help teach you the skills that you need to actually effectively grow your business, and we'll get into that in a second. You know, what are you going to do if you feel like it's a fit? And then if you go to your husband and they aren't on the same page and don't want you to get the funding to invest in your, you know, ability to learn the skills that you need to ultimately grow your business so that you guys are no longer throwing money away in your network marketing business.
So good. Um, I would figure out a way to make it work, whether it be talk to my parents, open up an extra credit card, sell old network marketing product that I have sitting in my closet. Um, you know, like I said, if it's something that I'm passionate about and that I believe in fully,
Mm,
I will find a way. That's
okay.
just my personality. So, you know, again, talking to him is a respect thing. It's not a asking permission.
Okay.
That's not me.
Yeah.
But so I will figure out a way to make it work. Mhm.
Okay. And Catherine, let me ask you this, you know, would it make more sense for us to schedule a time to continue the conversation when your husband can be here? Because it sounds like, you know, he has been somewhat involved with your businesses in the past. And I very much appreciate that you want to be respectful. And it sounds like it is a little bit of a joint discussion. So would it make more sense for us to schedule a time where all three of us can be here?
I think that actually would be a really good idea. The
Okay.
hard part is narrowing down a time that he would be available because he works full time and he's also a volunteer fireman.
Mm,
So tracking him down is the hard part, but
got it.
that's probably a good idea.
Okay, great. And we can definitely work with his schedule. Do you happen to have his schedule handy or you know, have a couple of ideas of when he
Mhm.
might be available or the two of you might be available?
Yeah, I would say probably a weekend would be best.
Okay. Great. So I have da 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 da, da, right? So guys, don't continue the conversation. You are not going to make
Yep.
the sale. Stop it right there. Okay. I want to see you guys. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. Stop. Just don't do it. You're not going to make the sale and you're going to be irritated and you're going to have to then answer a million questions that come from the husband.
Yep.
And the truth is, you know, one of the lines I like to say too is, let's say Kat was like, no, you know, that's okay. You know, we can keep going, right? And let's assume she didn't say that. I would find a way. My parents would help. Whatever. Let's just
Mhm.
say she's like, yeah, no, I would need to talk to him, and you know, I wouldn't be comfortable moving forward. But can I just get the information so I can send it to him, or share it with him, and then we can talk again, right? I would make a joke and say, well, if it's okay with you, Catherine, can I share my experience with husbands? Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. husbands have a lot of questions. They tend to have a lot more questions than we do because they often don't have as much experience in the online world as we do. Would you kind of agree that they don't get what we do?
I completely agree with that. Yep.
Okay. And, the fear I have for you is that, you and I can have a great discussion and you'll be able to see how we can teach you and provide you with the skills that you need to grow your business and get it to where you want to be. But when you go talk with your husband, it might be harder for you to communicate all the things that you learn because this is newer for you. And a lot of things might get lost. So out of respect for time, and your ability to be able to have that discussion, I'd like to schedule that call when all of us can be here because you've said that this decision is a joint decision for how you're going to move forward in your business growth.
I think that sounds great. Yeah.
I'm not letting her tell me to keep going. We're not going to keep going. Right? Because I can hang up and I can go dial 5 other leads that hopefully one will answer for maybe a partial call or whatever it is. Right? So that is, guys, what you're going to do when they bring up the husband thing. Right? And Danielle's like, yes, please. I am over that. Right. And it's kind of funny, right? Like when you say, gosh, Danielle, is it okay if I share my experience with men and husbands? If they're anything like mine, they got a lot of questions and they generally have logical questions and things like that don't even apply really to what we're doing, but they still have them, like, is that your experience as well? And then they laugh and think it's funny and whatnot. Right. If they do not schedule the call with you and their husband, they were never going to sign up anyway. You're going to cut them loose. Right. But
Yep.
more often than not, the wife now really respects you. Do you see how I maintain my position of authority in that conversation? There was never a dip in authority. Like it was very clear who was running the show and who's running the call and why I was doing it. And, she's going to respect you for that. She absolutely will versus somebody that's afraid of her, so to speak. And I know you guys aren't afraid of your leads, but that's how you feel, right? It's like, oh, I'm a little nervous about this. So maintaining that authority and then booking the next call with the husband, right? So all that to say, you guys saw how, oops, I guess I should share my screen again. Share screen. Oops, wrong one. If you guys saw how many windows, browsers, tabs I have open, you'd be like, no wonder your mind is all over the place. Always too many things going on. But you guys see how we were up here and setting the stage, and she brought up what I knew could potentially be an objection, right? And that was the family thing. And so I decided to go to the spouse objection. Sometimes they're even more explicit about it, right? So Kat could have said something like, right here, this is why we ask that, because I want to know, what is your bias coming in? What is your objection before we do anything? I need to change faces so I can see someone with cameras on. Otherwise, it's just black screens, right? And then I can handle that before we do anything else. So she could have said something like, well, you know what? I need to see what this costs. I don't know. I need to see what this costs and not really sure the industry, if I want to stay in the industry, if I want to explore other options and, it's a busy season of life, da, 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 da. The number one objection is always the thing that they skim over. Okay. So sure, she wants to look into network marketing or she's really busy. That's not the problem. Money is the problem. Okay. Why? Because she glanced right over it. It's the first thing she said, but the thing she spent the less time telling you about. Okay. So if that was the case, I would go to money and we would do the exact same thing before we really, really dove in. Right. And so just laughing at the stuff I wrote on there. You guys will get a kick out of some of the things in this as examples. But you want to handle it now because this is kind of your money qualifier, right? Is to really understand like, what is the money issue? Are we talking, you don't have 2 pennies to rub together? Are we talking about, you don't see the value in investing? Are we talking about you just took a $10,000 program and you don't really want to do that again? But 3,000 is going to be like walk in the park, right? We really kind of want to understand what they mean by what is it going to cost? Because for me, right, if I had a money objection talking to my next coach and I said that, I wouldn't be referring to a $3,000 investment. I'd be saying like, I don't know if I want to do a $50,000 to $100,000 investment in this next coach. I would probably want to stay around 20,000. And that would be my objection. But they could think that I'm talking about, I'm not willing to invest $2,000, right? But if they didn't ask me questions about that, then they could lose a sale that they didn't have to lose, right? Because we always assume something and it's not the case. And then on the flip side, they really might not have any money or see the value in investing in this. And then again, you would cut it off, or you would get to continue the conversation confidently because you already overcame a money objection because you understood what does she mean by how much does it cost, right? So the way that I would say this is, thanks, Kat, for sharing what's important for you to get out of this call today. And it's not a problem for us to go over that. When you say that you're curious about what the investment is into our program to help you build the skills that you need to help you finally get your business and the income you want from home to where you want it, what exactly do you mean by that, so that I can understand?
Just really what the investment is in terms of, I guess it's twofold, the financial investment and the time and energy investment. Financially, are we talking, $1,000, $5,000, $10,000? And time wise, are we talking like more than a 40-hour week job? Or is it something I can spend an hour a day on? Kind of getting the details of both of those sides, really.
Okay. And, just so I can understand, Catherine, is it more of a cash flow thing where, the money is there, it would just leave you guys really tight? Or is it a case of maybe needing to get resourceful, as in like find the money?
I think that would depend on the actual number of the cost. The difference between 3,000 and 10,000 is quite significant. So, if you're talking more of the 3,000 one, we would, if we found it worth it, we'd probably be able to figure out a way to make that work. Where if it's the 10,000 one, then, we'd have to get really resourceful.
Okay. And sorry, I lost my place because Tenley was waving goodbye. And, Catherine, and I can really appreciate that. We, work with a lot of women in your position. And if it's appropriate, can I share how some of our other clients have been able to fund this? And really, again, assuming that we're the right program and the right coaches to help teach you the skills that you feel like you're really missing to take your business to a really predictable, sustainable place. Would it be appropriate for me to share?
Yeah, I think that would be great. Thanks.
Okay, great. And so this is where, guys, you would get into, like, do you have credit card? Do you have the ability to borrow, payment plans? Like we have some of those things at your disposal, right? Like really just getting a clear picture. Like Kat told me, money is actually not an issue if she found the value. I would not for a second worry about that at all, right? Because we know she's going to make it happen. She's kind of that other tier of person who just needs to understand, is this the right fit for me? She wasn't the tier that was like, I don't want to invest into a business or a coach. I just want everything for free. We've all had conversations, right? Very different, two very different conversations. So she just financially qualified herself. And so I would continue the conversation, right? If it was kind of the other route, I would kind of jump down to right here. And I would say, so Kat, really in full transparency, if this is something that you really want, which you said was to find a way to grow your business. And listen, we're going to dive into that a lot deeper here in a second. But again, to be respectful of one another's time, I'm willing to help you find the funds, but I need to be really transparent. I need you to be really transparent and honest with me so we can figure this out. If this seems like the right solution for you, are you in a position to want to figure out how to be able to invest in getting the skills that you need to fix your problem?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. And you see how it's like she's kind of shutting down, right? So you want to dig into that, right? And you want to dig into that because again, okay, who was I telling this to? Shannon. People lie to protect their status when it comes to money. Okay. People lie to protect their status when it comes to money. And again, you're not serving them if they're not the right fit anyway, right? And so you just really want to be cautious with how far you take the conversation before ever getting, to the meat and bones of what we do. Now, I'm sure some of you are like, well, Yana, what if they're like, well, but what do you even do? Or what do you even da, 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 da? If they've watched the Loom video, that should not be a question that comes up first. Right? That should not be a question that comes up first. If they were to say that, we would jump back up here, right? Well, I don't know because, and usually those are people that have never invested in anything before, generally speaking, an online business, a coach, a course, or anything like that. But if they were to say that, I would, sorry, I'm trying to find my spot. I would kind of go back here, right? And I might reiterate it a different way. And I might say, yeah, Catherine, you know what? We're actually going to dive into that really specifically because to be honest with you, I don't even know if we're the right fit to even work together. But what I do know, based on what you've said, and what you told us in your application is that you really are looking to learn the skills and have the support and the coaching and mentorship to help get you kind of out of this business rut that you've been in for what you said on your application was a couple of years. And so before we dive into that, right, again, just to be really mindful of our time and stay laser focused, I just kind of want to understand, you know, what your investment tolerance is. And if this is something that, you know, if you feel it's the right fit and we're the right fit to help you get there, you are in a position to want to move forward, right? You just kind of go back to that. So generally speaking, everything you've done up to this point, you're not even gonna have to go there. It's just gonna be with some of those people. And usually, guys, if they're asking about price in the first 2, 3, 5 minutes, they are not qualified. So don't feel awkward digging in, right? Catherine's not getting on the phone with a coach and asking what's the price in the first 5 minutes. She's there to be a student of the system, of the student of the call. She wants help. Danielle is not getting on the phone, right? All of you, you're not getting on the phone and asking, what's the price before you know anything about anything. Generally, they're not qualified if they go there, financially qualified. Some you can, you know, figure it out with, right? Like me 4 years ago, I didn't have the money, but I was going to find the money. And that was super evident. I didn't have 2 pennies to rub together. It didn't matter. That wasn't the issue because again, I saw that there was a solution in what the coach I wanted to hire. And so I went out and found a way, right? So you just need to know who you're talking to. And our goal is that we're weeding out as many of the people who don't have money prior to a call anyway. And if we haven't done that, this first 5 minutes should do it. Cool. Any questions? I mean, we have not even hardly gotten into the script yet, right? Because we went straight into the qualifying first so that we didn't waste our time. But any questions here before we keep going?
Hey, Yana, I have a quick question. When I money qualified someone, she was really like, I don't have the money. How do you end that conversation in like a nice way? I felt really awkward when I ended it.
Yeah, I have had that before too. In fact, I had that last week. I did a partial and I was like, yeah, this isn't going to work. Listen, again, you are a business. You are busy. She is busy. She would rather you tell her than waste her time, right? So if she's truly not qualified financially, I'd say, well, you know, Catherine, just out of respect for you and your time and the program, just full transparency, you know, our program is a low 4-figure investment to get started, to learn the skills, you know, that you're looking for to get your business off the ground and to a predictable, sustainable place. And it doesn't sound like maybe right now is the right time for you to be able to invest in the program. Would you agree with that?
That's
Yeah.
probably accurate.
Yep. Right. So, you know, at this point, you know, what I'd like to do is, you know, we've got some free resources in our training videos and such, but what I'd like to do right now is kind of end the call. And if your situation changes in the future, then, you know, we're not going anywhere. We would love to support you. We would love to help you. And we certainly wish you nothing but the best. But what I don't want to do is string you along and have a full conversation when we know that right now is probably not the right fit for us to work together. Is that fair?
Yep.
Okay. Thanks so much for your time and, you know, best of luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. That's that. That's exactly how it's going to go. Yep. Trust me.
Thanks, Yana.
She wants to get off the phone just as much as you do. It's awkward for her too.
I said that too. I was like, why don't we touch base in like 2 months from now or something? Yeah. So you said it way better than what I did, but I stumbled through that.
That's okay. You still did. Yeah. I mean, you know, MLM will teach you drag them to the end and convince them to do it in some way, shape, or form. Again, That's not what we're doing here. You know, truly, truly being financially disqualified is a deal breaker. Because if not, guys, it's going to end in a chargeback and then you're going to be refunding your commissions.
Mhm.
Not fun. Not fun. And that may still happen, right? In fact, speaking of chargebacks, just totally off the cuff here, but 5% of your business, you can kind of assume may end up like there should never be more than 5% chargebacks in your business, right? So we have the big dome of our business. So we would look in totality, but if Shannon's looking at her business and she finds 20 people, we wouldn't want to see more than one person be a chargeback. If even one person, I'm not saying 1 out of 20 will be a chargeback. But if they were, we would never want it to be more than one. If there was, we would want to, you know, if she had 5 chargebacks, I'd be like, okay, we need to dive into Shannon's sales calls because something in that is, it appears, right? It may not be, but something appears to maybe be setting the wrong tone. And we want to help Shannon, right? We want to help Shannon figure out what that is so she can avoid some chargebacks and, you know, having to return commissions and such. So, no more than 5%, but ideally not, right? Cool. All right. Do you guys like this, by the way? The few faces.
Yeah,
I can
very
see?
much.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So back to the script. So she told us what she's looking to get out of the call today. And now it's time to peel the onion, right? We know, guys, every single one of us knows what the problem is for our, you know, our ideal client, right? Our ideal client really is burnt out network marketers. Occasionally we get people with no experience. Their problem is they're looking for freedom and an income from home. I would say half of those are unqualified because they don't have the 2 pennies to rub together. And then the other half are genuinely like really looking to learn, right? Finally learn. But more often than not, they have network marketing experience and all their network marketing experience is the same. I did everything I was told. I made a list of 100 people. I blah, 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 right? However, you want them to say it. You guys know that, you know, we want them to talk it out. Because we already know what the problems are, but we need them to say it themselves, right? So going back to what Kat said, you know, she's basically said, I want to learn like if this can actually help me grow my business, if this is something that will help our family, you know, blah, 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 blah. I've tried a lot of things in the past or whatever, right? So now I'm gonna bring my tone down. Great, Catherine, thanks for sharing all that. And you know, can I ask, what are you currently doing to build your network marketing business? You know, what have you tried and tested? Tell me a little bit about that.
A lot of the copy and paste messages in, you know, to my cold network, cold market, whatever you want to call it, you know, sending DMs to strangers, approaching people in the Starbucks line, you know, not necessarily how I would choose to go about business, but that's what I've been told is going to give me the best results. And I just haven't seen anything else to the contrary.
Got it. And you know, how's that working out for you?
It's not. I spend more time doing that than anything else. And really, I got into this to earn a significant income or any income for that matter. And there are definitely months where I am not earning nearly as much as the work that I'm putting out. And I'm, you know, taking time away from bath time to get on Zooms and, you know, doing virtual parties when I should be, you know, having quality time with my husband and, you know, things like that.
Got it. Yeah. Yeah. I remember those days. They're tough and kind of makes you wonder, why are you even doing it? You know?
Mhm.
You guys notice, by the way, that I am constantly affirming what she's saying with hums and ahs and ums and okay. And, you know, you need to do that in your conversations, right? They need to know that you are actively listening. Don't be like a doormat, right? And they wonder like, she's still there, right? Don't be that person. You guys have all been on those phone conversations before with a, you know, customer service agent and you're like, did they hang up on me? Don't you want to make sure that you're doing that so that they know you're there and that you're actually listening to them, right? So, you know, I keep calling you Kat, but Catherine, you know, what do you think is missing at the moment for you in your business with all that you just shared? Like what's missing?
I don't know. I mean, I've spent years doing personal development and growing myself, but I think I need the right business training and business skills and tools, because I don't feel like I'm getting that in the network marketing industry.
Got it. And, when you say you're not getting that in the network marketing industry, can you tell me what do you specifically mean by that?
Um, well, I know business is a numbers game. So a lot of times, my upline and my leaders will just say, well, you've reached out to 30 people today, make it 50 tomorrow. Or you talked to 1,000 people this month, talk to 7,000 next month. I'm just pulling numbers out of my butt. And, you know, they just keep saying that I'm not talking to enough people. And I don't think that's right, because if it were right, then I would have closed some people by now, and I'm not.
Got it. Got it. Gosh. And, are you happy with the way that business is going and what it sounds like is your, current path and what you're being coached to do? Are you happy with that?
No, not at all.
Okay. Okay. Well, why do you think that, just to expand further, why do you think that you're having trouble growing your business, right? Like, what do you think it really comes down to?
Um, it's a really good question. I know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. And I feel like that's just what we keep getting taught. So I don't know if it's not my upline, because I feel like the whole industry is very similar to that. So maybe I just need a different industry. Maybe I need to get out of network marketing.
Oh gosh. Okay. And, that makes it sound like you've been kind of doing the same thing for a while. How long have you had trouble with this, with growing your network marketing business?
I've been doing network marketing for about 8.5 years, and I will do well the first like year or two into the businesses, and then I kind of stall out. Um, and I think it has to do with the fact that, I'm losing my drive, I'm losing my passion, because again, I'm doing that same thing over and over again. And while it worked a little bit in the beginning, it's not something I can sustain.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So 7 years you've tried this strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you guys see how I was like surprised, right? Like 7 years, or you make them feel
Right.
like it's not supposed to be that way. You did the same thing for 7 years not to get that result, right? So, Catherine, how does that make you feel? 7 years, that's a long time. How does that make you feel that your business has been in that same position for that long?
Defeated,
Mm,
especially when there's people that come in and, jump to the top
mm,
faster, and, but I'm just not willing to give those things up. They are the people that are doing virtual parties twice a night and going to every single event and spending thousands of dollars on travel and
mm,
time away from bedtime and bath time to be on a Zoom every single night at 8 o'clock.
mm.
And I'm just not willing to do that. So I know there's a better way out there. I just haven't found it. So I'm hoping that's where you guys come in.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. Well, I can, really appreciate, your honesty with that, because you're right. There's a lot of people winning in that strategy, but certainly comes with a little bit of a sacrifice. And you said something a little bit earlier, and I'd love to know, how has your experience over the last 7 years impacted, your vision of the network marketing space and what you're doing to grow an income from home?
Um, it's kind of twofold. I mean, it makes me cringe a little bit in that, knowing what everybody's doing in the network marketing space for the most part, of, the reach outs and the follow-ups and the posting constantly on social media, and, all the things that none of us really want to be doing. But then I do love the fact that I can do it from home, and earn a little bit.
Hmm. Hmm. And, kind of take that a step further, Catherine, how has the last 7 years and, what it sounds like is not the success that you wanted, and how has that impacted you personally?
In the same way, because I know that I can be a lot more successful than what I am right now. So it's really challenging and disheartening. Um, Especially when I have a daughter and I'm trying to show her that, I can be a present mom and still earn a significant paycheck, that can go towards finances or vacations or the horse or whatever it is. And not just working to work.
Yeah. Y'all see how like this is all emotion?
Mm-hmm.
We ain't talked about the damn program once. Not one single time. Not one single time, right? Sorry, excuse me.
Bless you.
That this is how you have a sales call, right? This is how you bring up some of those things that we've talked about. And we'll keep going. Let's go another, I have a call in a little bit, but let's go another
I have to actually jump in about 5 minutes for the bus.
perfect. So another 5 and then we'll pick
Okay.
up where we left off next week, but I want to get just down to this part and then
Yeah. Go ahead.
So and Catherine, how has this impacted your family? You mentioned that your family is very important to you on a handful of occasions in this call so far. How has that impacted, how has this impacted your family?
Just kind of the same of what I've said, in that, I've a lot of times, one of my old businesses, we would do these informational calls at 8 o'clock, Monday through Friday. And that's prime, bedtime and bath time, on the East Coast. And to give that up is just not something I'm willing to do 5 days a week. And being that my husband is a volunteer fireman, he's gone, 2 nights a week at duty crews after working a full day. So there's just a lot of times that it's either impossible for me to make it, or I'm just not willing to do so because I don't want to miss that time with them.
Got it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Time is short and kids are in school all day and you want to be able to be present when you are home. So I definitely relate there. And Catherine, why now? You've been in the space for 7 years. You've kind of done the same thing, it sounds like, for quite some time, but why is now the time for you to make a change? Where is this coming from? And, as opposed to 3 months ago or 6 months from now, like, why is now the time for you to get support to learn the skills that you need to grow your business?
I'm tired of spinning my wheels. I'm tired of doing the same thing over and over again and not getting where I know I can be and where we need to be financially and, just as a family. Like I said, being that it's one income, vacations are hard, and, I now have this horse, he's expensive, things like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, if it's okay with you, I just want to make sure I've heard you, and I haven't missed anything. And so, if you can tell me, Catherine, I just want to make sure I got it right. Where you're at right now is you're feeling defeated and emotional, right? You've done the same thing for 7 years and you've been told over and over and over again that eventually it's going to get better. And here you are 7 years later and still don't have much to show for the effort that you've put into the industry. And your main challenge is that you just don't know, how do you actually grow a successful network marketing business? And kind of as a result of all of that, your family is feeling the disconnect because you're constantly away and trying to make this work. And, you're wondering, is this even for you, or are you capable of getting your business off of the ground? Did I get this right, Catherine, or did I miss anything?
No, that's right. It sounds like you're in my brain.
That's exactly what you want them to say. And they will.
Yep.
If you follow this, they will say that 100% of the
Mhm.
time. And again, we know we heard them. You'll always take notes on my get a piece of paper. You'll always take notes, and they are so appreciative when you restate the problem in their words and nail it, right? Because they're like, wow, she really heard me. And for the most part, it's the same exact thing. The same thing for every person. You may just tweak a few things here and there. But that, guys, this is where the sale happens.
Mhm.
Right here. This is where the sale happens. Okay. Everything that follows, and obviously we're going to dive into that. This is where we uncovered Kat can't figure it out on her own. And Kat, whenever you need to go.
Yeah. Like 1 minute. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for role playing.
Yeah, you're welcome. Sorry, I
Again,
can't stay longer.
next week. No, it's okay. We're overtime anyway. But now we kind of flip the switch, right? And now we bring up our tone, right? Because now we're a little bit more excited and we're like, well, I can help you, Kat, right? Like that's where we're headed. And now we are trying to paint the picture of the life that they desire and how they can get there if they just get the support that they need to actually change all of the stuff that Kat just told us exists in her life, in her business, and in her experience, right? And so it's about, thank you, Catherine, for your openness. And I really do appreciate you being so, honest and vulnerable, because the reality is it helps me understand if I can actually help you, if what we do is actually the right fit for you. Right? They may or may not say anything there, by Kat, but you'll still pause. Okay. And, on that note, just so we can make sure that what we do can actually help you, why are you really wanting to move forward, right? Like, move forward from this. Like, what does moving forward look like for you? Can you kind of paint the picture for me? Catherine, what does life look like, assuming we can get this business to where you want it to be, right? And then she would go and start painting the dream and this and that and da 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 da. And now you've gone into solution mode, and you're helping her understand that our program is the solution for you, right? Obviously, we'll pause there because she's gone. But does this help you guys, even in your existing conversations, right? Understand the purpose is not the program. The purpose is not the program. The purpose isn't the automations. The purpose isn't the lead system. The purpose isn't that once you guys start making $10,000 a month, we'll teach you how to run your own ads. That is not the purpose of the call. The purpose of the call is, why did Tiffany go through a webinar, an application, 3 homeworks, and a pre-call homework, and is still on the phone with me? That is why we're on a sales call, not because of the program, right? When you go into program mode, there's not enough emotion, and you have not created a big enough gap, right? So what I mean by that is there needs to be a significant gap between where is Catherine today and what is that pain that exists. She's told us things that are not small things, you guys. She's told us that she is affecting her family. She's done this for 7 years. Her confidence is trash. She just keeps getting told the same thing over and over again, but she now thinks it's her problem, that she's not good enough to be successful in the industry. And she told us she doesn't know how to change it. Right? She did it all. She did all the work for us, right? And so she has created this gap in where she's been for the last 7 years and where she wants to go. And now we get to come in as the heroes and say, well, gosh, I get it, Catherine. It's hard to be here, but man, like, what would it look like if we can get you there? Right? So anyways, that's where the script is headed. The script that you currently have is also set up very similarly. But I think a lot of people are getting lost for a couple of different reasons, going down the program route versus the actual reason that the person got on the phone, which is why we are making a transition. Okay. So again, would not be doing you guys justice for me to just like say, hey, new script is up, without actually going through this with you guys in totality, so that you feel really confident in it. So by next week, I think we're going to be ready to go, so that you guys can practice and start implementing it. But I'd encourage you, maybe like as you're going to bed or whatever, when you're driving, listen to this call as a replay, just fast forward to the role play section, listen to it a couple of times to prepare for next week. And we'll round it out by talking about the desire, the consequences if they don't take action, getting them admit to needing help, and then ultimately securing commitment and getting them enrolled. Cool. Is this helpful? Yeah. Awesome. You're welcome. I'm excited for you guys. I know that December and January are hard months, guys. They're hard months no matter what you sell, no matter what you do, and unless you're product based, like you're buying Christmas presents and things like that. December and January are really tough, right? So we are coming out of like that. It's usually like mid-January when you start to see people making buying decisions again, right? Especially like courses and things like that. So you guys are going to start seeing probably the tide start to really turn, because you've probably felt sales resistance from a lot of people that you've talked to. That is incredibly normal. It's like I said, it's this program, it's every program. Like you guys know, I work with a million other programs too, and it's just the name of the game, right? So into January, end of January. And this is where you should start really seeing the needle move in your business, and get out of the, post-holiday lull, which we all hate when it comes, right? Cool. Awesome. Any questions before I let you guys go? Burning questions, anything you guys need? Oh, and Belinda, no, you'll never delete a lead. You'll never delete a lead because, down the road, we may have a low ticket offer and that may, be something that works for them, right? Who knows? And we can market that to them. Or you don't know, they don't win the lottery tomorrow and decide that, oh, I made 10 grand from the lottery and, want to invest in that program again. So yeah, never delete them. The only decisions you'll really make for them, or they'll make for themselves, is if they say, stop communicating with me, you'll DND them in text form or whatever it is. If they're like, never contact me again, still just DND them. Do not delete them, because again, if they opt in 4 months from now, you're gonna be like, you didn't want to hear from me, but clearly you haven't fixed your problem, right? And you want to know and remember that they were in your system. So no, never delete your leads, ever, ever, ever. Just follow their lead, meaning, did they DND? Did they not? If they didn't, they're just not interested. Great. We may market to them down the road. Great question. Cool. I don't know if you guys saw her comment. It was funny. If they're dead in the water, do you delete them? So anyways, awesome guys. Great conversation today. If you didn't catch the beginning, the reporting will be up by tomorrow, maybe tonight, but always by tomorrow. Just catch the first part where I talk about why we want to avoid three-way chats and remove or taking the conversation from phone or Zoom to the DMs. You don't want to do that. And I explained why in the beginning. Okay. Sound good? Awesome. Okay, guys, great job. And I will talk to you later. See ya.